going on, guys? Gonna do my WEC 47 predictions. Well, I was gonna start off by saying that if you want to follow me on Twitter or you want to take a look at my little blog that I do, I'm probably gonna start doing more of those, just because it passes time and it's fun. Put the links over there. All right, let's start off. Undercard, main card. Undercard, Fredson Peixao against Courtney Buck. Courtney's taking this on semi-short notice, filling in for Brian Caraway, I think. Make this quick. Peixao by sub, first round. Benny Casimir, Ricardo Lamas. Going to go with Lamas by TKO in the second. If you want to, I go more in detail about the undercard picks on my blog, so there you go. I only have 10 minutes. Leonard Garcia against George Roop. I'm going to go Garcia by UD. This fight I'm going to talk about a little. Danny Castillo against Anthony Pettis. This is a tough fight to call, and Castillo's a tough guy. I'm going to go with Pettis by UD. I think he can win this a couple different ways. I think Pettis can avoid the takedown and keep it on the feet and out-technically strike Castillo. Castillo's a decent boxer with good power, but Pettis is definitely the better striker. And I mean, he could even finish it on the feet. And two, I think he's would be able to sub Danny Castillo on the ground. I think Anthony Pettis could definitely sub him, but I'm gonna stick with Pettis by UD there. Eric Koch against Chad Mendes. Mendes by unanimous decision. I think should be a pretty decent fight. Here we go. Chad George against Scott Jorgensen. I'm going to pick Jorgensen in this one. Don't know how he's going to do it, but I'm going to pick him by sub in the second round. Either by maybe a knockdown with a punch. He did that a couple times. Outstriking Takeya Mizugaki is a pretty good accomplishment. So I think he has some decent power and good boxing. And I think he could, knock down or take down Chad George and get like a rear naked choke or a guillotine. So Jorgensen by sub. Karen Darabidian against Bart Palashevsky. Darabidian was, fairly impressive in his last fight. I knew training with Caro and them out of North Hollywood, he would have some pretty good judo and good takedowns. His boxing was fairly good. I mean, it was kind of rudimentary, but I mean, it still got the job done against a good striker like Razor Rob McCullough. McCullough was, in his last couple fights, he's just been not good at all. Just really tentative and throwing about 8 times more feints than he does actual strikes. But, that didn't, I mean, still it was a good performance. I think in order to be a smart fighter, he should look at what I call the Bart Palashevsky plan, which is basically just take him down, because he has massive holes in his takedown defense, which doesn't really make any sense because he trains with some pretty good wrestlers. I'm going to go with Karen Darabidian by decision. I think he'll stand for a while and then, take him down. And, Palashevsky is pretty good off his back. So, I mean, if he swept him or subbed him, I think Darabidian is probably, with the judo background, got some pretty good subs and sub defense. So he should be right. LC Davis against Davidius Torsavicius. This is for me the toughest fight to call on the card because they're both just so similar. Mostly use boxing as their primary striking weapon. Good wrestlers, good cardio. I think Davidius is the more well-rounded grappler. I think he's better at the jiu-jitsu aspect of it. He's better at guard passing. He's better at submissions. And I think that'll probably play into his favor in this one. On the feet, it's probably a lot. I mean, they're probably fairly close. I don't see either of them having a distinct advantage. But I think Torsavicius' guard passing and his ability to work for subs will look better to the judges. And I think it'll be a real close fight, but I got Torres by UD. This might even be a split decision, so it's going to be a real close fight. Jens Pulver against Javier Vasquez. Man, I don't like picking against Jens Pulver, but long layoff, has not looked good in his last couple of fights. I think Vasquez is, a little PO'd after the split decision losses that he's had. One of them that he almost definitely did win. So I'm going to go with Vasquez by submission after he takes down Pulver or Pulver takes him down. So Vasquez by sub, late first, early second round. Don't like doing it. Like Jens Pulver, great guy, but... Alright, Joseph Benavidez against Miguel Torres. Here we go. This is Miguel Torres. Champions are made after they lose. How will he come back after that loss, after losing his belt? And he said and done all the correct things. I mean, he's moved out of, training himself. He's gone to Boston to train with Mark Delagrati. He's trained with Jackson's. He's trained with George St. Pierre. He's trained with great, coaches and great training partners. And mentally, I think he's the type of fighter that he will come back strong after this. It's just time to prove it. Benavidez is not a rollover fight. This is not going to be easy for Miguel Torres. Benavidez is very good at 135. However, I will say that he does... we will probably, when the WEC adopts a flyweight division, 125, we probably will see him drop. Miguel Torres has also worked on a strength and conditioning program, and apparently he's put on a lot of, about 8 pounds of muscle. So, Miguel Torres, he's going to come back. I think his striking is going to look even more refined. I think he's going to work Benavidez on the feet, force Benavidez to shoot for a takedown, and we're going to see Torres work his magical jiu-jitsu game. He's going to have... Benavidez is so short, and, Torres, his reach on the feet, it's going to be incredible, and on the ground, it's just going to be ridiculous how well he's going to be able to work, rubber guard and stuff like that. So I'm going to say, Benavidez starts to get the worst of it on the feet, takes it down, Torres subs him with a triangle, or he's probably something off his back. So Torres by sub in the second round. Here we go. Main event of the night. Ryan Bowles against Dominic Cruz for the Bantamweight Championship. This is a good fight. And Cruz has definitely earned his shot at the 135 pound title. One loss in the WEC, but that was at featherweight to Uriah Faber, so no shame in that. Cruz is very quick. He works good angles, good striking. Technically, he might be the better striker, but it's pretty close. Brian Bowles is a good boxer. Wrestling, Cruz is probably the quicker of the two. I think technique-wise, Brian is going to be the better wrestler as well. Cardio-wise, 135, it's generally never a problem. You never have to worry about cardio that much. So I think Cruz, this is one of those fights where for 5 rounds, Cruz has to avoid Bowles' huge power. And that's something that Bowles has at bantamweight that is crazy. Not many people can say that they have one-punch KO power at 135, but Bowles definitely has that. And Bowles, I think, is better at the submission game as well. So you got Cruz, who has the ability to win rounds in this. Can he win, can he make it 5 rounds avoiding Bowles' power, submission game, and wrestling? I don't think so. And I don't know how this is going to end. I think it's going to end in the middle rounds somewhere, probably around, end of the second, maybe third. I don't think it'll go to the fourth, but it very well could. I'm going to go with Bowles by KO. I think he's going to catch him with a huge shot and put him out. I think it's just It's better to say it that way. It sounds better when you say, yeah, he's going to knock him out in one punch than it is to say work for a sub. I aim to please with exciting predictions. So there you go. Bulls, KO, third round. Should be a great fight card. Looking forward to it a lot. And again, if you want to follow me on Twitter or read the blog as I go into probably more detail because I have unlimited time in text form, links in the sidebar. You guys stay metal. Later.